Hi, this is Jeff Mesnick. I am here with Mark from Vestigo Ventures. How are you doing today?
I'm great, Jeff.
Good, good. Well, I guess since last time we met and we spoke, you had recently attended an MIT conference. Do you want to tell me a little bit about that?
Sure, I'd love to. It was a great event put on by the MIT FinTech Club. And these were folks who were undergraduate and graduate students at MIT Sloan School. So, very impressive group of people. And they run an annual event, and this was the third one. And I was able to speak about wealth management and what's happening in the industry and use that to talk about the way that large players in financial services, the incumbents, if you will, are working with or not working with startups in fintech. So it was a great conversation with some wonderful students.
Excellent. So you actually gave them a good speech, and we have a nice article about that in today's newsletter. But I'd love to hear what you've heard from different people. So you talked to tons of students, tons of people. They might have had some cool information. What'd you
Absolutely.
hear?
Well, I heard a lot of buzz about startups and fintech in the Boston area in particular, but also nationally and internationally. And there's just a lot of people who are looking to find ways to make the experience of using financial services, either as a consumer or as a large organization, easier, faster, better, and cheaper. What more could you ask for than that?
Right.
And some really innovative ideas from probably the most innovative that I heard was somebody who wants to use the blockchain to basically record commodities like corn, and then
Hmm.
turn those commodities and that store of value into a cryptocurrency, which that farmer or owner of the grain could in fact trade. Now there's a concept, right? And
Oh, that's
imagine the
excellent.
complexity of having to figure all that out.
Right. It creates a whole new kind of commerce, a trade commerce, huh?
It really does, yeah. So it's just a way of really taking away one of the key problems, which is graft and corruption, right?
Hmm.
You tell me how much corn went into the silo, and then keeping track of that asset. So it's really helpful for that purpose. It obviously creates an ability to store value for the person who produced the goods, but also to create a way to finance the movement of that commodity into the market. So it's just a really interesting idea. I almost spent 15 or 20 minutes with the folks who founded the company, but got a sense that that is at least something worth exploring a little bit further.
What's the stage that they're at in that business? So where are they in their development process?
Yeah, they're what I might describe as pre-seed. They've
Hmm.
used a little bit of their own money to kind of get underway. Also, I like to think about pre-seed as they haven't had any revenues yet,
Right,
so
right.
it means it's a really good idea. So the next test is it a good idea in a PowerPoint, or is it a good idea that actually has the beginnings of being built? Usually, it's of a technology. In their case, they've built out a fair amount of the technology. They've made a lot of good contacts across the supply chains they need to work on, and then we'll kind of see where they go from there. So we'll keep in touch with them and see what happens in and of itself.
Great. And anything that you would pick up from the conference that you would suggest to other people who haven't attended as to what they should be thinking about?
Yeah, I think there were a lot of good discussions about how to think about the market and how to think about what changes are coming through here, and how to think about it if you're working at a large financial services company, and think about what are models for innovation. I heard a lot of feedback about that. Maybe half the conference attendees worked in large financial services companies or lawyers or others who are associated with the industry, and they're curious about what they see as successful models in the space. How to innovate basically is the core issue. The other thing were the startup community and students, of course, were the other half of the audience. And beyond sort of pitching ideas, of which I shared one, the other part of it was just thinking about what career options people want to have and how to think about their careers in fintech specifically. Should they go to an incumbent and try to work with startups? Should they go to a startup from there? So that's always fun, right? To do a little career counseling and discussion
Right.
with smart students. So that was an enjoyable part of it as well.
Well, great. Well, that sounds really great. Well, I appreciate the time. So this is Jeff Mesnick, and I'm here with Mark from Vestigo Ventures.
Great. Thanks so much, Jeff.
All
Really
right.
appreciate it.
You too. Take care.